of composure. You start the game, Jet's on fire. He's a handful. You got him and Dickinson to deal with, but other guys are making shots too. We hung in there. We had a couple runs. Obviously, we got unbelievable play from our bench. Peyton and Josh Dix, obviously, but also Riley Mulvey. Happy to see him have some production and get some experience. I thought Phillip, sometimes when you get in foul trouble, you sit, then you come back in, you're not able to impact the game like maybe if you were in it the whole time, and he did, and we needed him to. So, that one lineup, we kind of stuck with them. I thought they were clicking at both ends. You have size, you have physicality, and really, really proud of that group. But, out-rebounded them. They're a really good defensive team. We only had 6 turnovers, and so many people produced.
Fran, you guys sort of held off the Storm when they were hitting all the threes, especially in the first half. No points off turnovers. Second half, you guys have 19 points off turnovers. Really started to get defensive pressure on that. Was that, I guess, what did you see just in terms of forcing them on?
Well, I think we had to get a little more aggressive. Like in the first half, like we were there, but they were still getting the shots off and making them. I thought, put a little more pressure, like you said, whether it be up on a ball screen or tagging the roll or getting over on the weak side. We did that. I mean, they run really good stuff. There's not enough time in the day to go through a walkthrough with all the things that they run. And they run them well, and they execute them. They got an unselfish team. So you have to stay after it, and you got to rebound. If you do get them to miss, you don't want to give them a second. And we had 14 offensive rebounds, which was great for us.
Expanding on Riley, you said a few days ago that you've seen him progress in practice. What strides have you seen him make to where he was able to give you 13 minutes tonight?
Well, he's more physical and he's more aware. He did make some mistakes. You would probably categorize as mental mistakes. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe lack of experience mistakes is probably a better way to phrase that. So he's dealing with a ball screen with a killer and a 7-1 guy is going to roll, and so he's kind of caught between. And you got to make a quick decision. You got to be up on Jet. You got to rely on the people behind you to either tag or come over on the big fella. But you can't be in between and give up an open shot because you wasn't playing either guy. And until you're really in the line of fire, you don't really understand that. So he had to go through that to kind of see it. But I told him to get in and run the floor. First time he runs, gets a layup, got a few rebounds. I thought for the most part is where he was supposed to be. So I'm really proud of him.
Either he or Dix seemed to act like the moment was too big for them. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, and that has been a process for Riley. Dix, that's just how he is. He doesn't, every time I've seen him play, that's how he plays. Nothing rattles him. He's constantly thinking. He doesn't let a play linger. He plays both ends. He's always been a point guard. And we've been utilizing him on the wing primarily because he's a good shooter, and that's fine. We'll still play him there some as well, but he was just so special, running the offense, playing defense, and just staying composed, like you said.
What did you make of their 2 big lineup with Dickinson and Reed?
I'm a big Reed fan, so I think he's tremendous. So you look at them and say, well, they're both 5 men, but they both can score, and they both are athletes. They both have length. You can play them both together, and that's probably something Juwan will do at times moving forward, depending upon who they're playing against.
Coach, you guys were down 7 with 2 minutes left. Michigan had the ball. How did you guys execute kind of down on that end to get the game into overtime in the first?
Well, it started. You need a couple stops, which we got, but then it's execution at the other end. You got to come down and execute, get into your stuff quickly. We ran some late game packages, and sometimes it's it's not necessarily what you run, it's who's running it. You call something, and they jam it up, or they switch, somebody's gotta go make a play, and you can't milk the whole clock when you're down under 2 minutes. So I know our guys understood, we gotta get a good shot, we have to execute. We're coming down the stretch, but we can't just quick shoot the ball and start jacking. So I thought our shot selection, our ball movement was good. Obviously helps when you get an N1.
How would you
Three-point
describe
shot.
how Sanford played after halftime?
Well, he didn't make very many mistakes. I mean, obviously you look at, he's making threes, he's made 2 incredibly huge plays. I mean, a tip in N1 and a 4-point play to tie the game, to put it in overtime. I mean, that's what you remember, but I remember, he did everything right. He was being closely guarded. I mean, they figured out that he was shooting the ball well too. They were chasing him around, they were top blocking him, they were face guarding him, they were being physical with him, and he just kept moving. And our guys were really smart, just like they were in the last game, like, let's get him the ball. I'm calling his number, but sometimes the play breaks down. Well, we still gotta find him. If we called a play for him, they jammed it up, and he moved and came back and got it and hit a shot from the same spot that he would have, but it didn't happen off the play. So our guys didn't give up on him, and he didn't give up on himself. That's what you gotta do coming down the stretch.